Welcome back to How to Souls. My name is Rach, and today we're going to continue with our walkthrough of Dark Souls 3. So last time we conquered the High Wall of Lothric. Here is just after we killed Vort. We're going to raise our banner, and that is going to take us to what is quite a pretty large area. So I hope you've got some snacks. We're heading to the Undead Settlement. This is one of those areas that just kind of like keeps going and going. There's so many little like hidden extra bits. Like if you're looking to just run straight through, it's not too bad, but if you are, as we are in this walkthrough, looking to do absolutely everything, it takes a good amount of time. So you've probably seen the length of this episode and thought, good God, let's get started. So our little gargoyle friends, a nice little callback to Dark Souls 1 there, have dropped us here. Again, making the world feel less connected, in my opinion, than Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, but we can't complain because look how gorgeous and grey everything is. You can kind of see in the distance, we've got Farron Swamp there in the distance, which is a nice little extra thing. Like, it's cool to be able to see places and say, you know, we're going to go there. At the top of that tower in the distance a minute ago, you could see a giant with a big great bow. Yeah, we're going to see him at some point too, which is fun. I like it. Before we head down, there's a wee item we can pick up here just up on the battlements. I think it's called the battlements. So we'll pick that up. Always good to pick up souls. We are going to need them later on because there's a couple of really expensive things that we're wanting to buy fairly soon. We need a couple of keys and things like that. So always good to take the time to try and explore all the little nooks and crannies and pick up all the extra souls. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to head sort of backwards round here to the left past these little wagons. If you want to go... Yeah, if you want to just take your time, there are a couple of dogs. There's 2 dogs around the back of this one, just behind us. So we're going to make sure we get the drop on them. This one is... Oh yeah, they do attack each other, so that's cool. Always worth kind of waiting to see if they can take some out for you, and then you don't have to. Yeah, this one here, this broken wagon here, there's 2 dogs behind it. So if we go sort of round the left, we will approach them from behind, and it's much easier. You will learn this build's worst enemy is fighting 2 dogs at once, for sure. As soon as you introduce any kind of shield or any kind of range, dogs are not too bad. But this build, every build has a weakness. One of these guys is not like the others. This one over here, and he is alive, the rest are dead. This is Yoel. He is a very, very important NPC if you are interested in doing the secret, very difficult sort of Dark Lord ending. And also if you're someone who is interested in getting free stuff, because Yoel gives you free stuff, gives you free levels. But as you must know, nothing in life is free. There is a cost, a hidden cost behind getting these free levels. But yeah, so this is Yoel. All you have to do is talk to him a couple of times and he'll get up and he will eventually, you know, if you exhaust his dialogue, every NPC, as soon as you meet them, you do want to talk to them until they are repeating themselves, exhaust their dialogue, and then chances are they're going to move back to the hub. Usually, or they will move to their like next location. So that's what we're going to do. Chat to Yoel, and then we'll see him again later on in this episode, and we'll do his stuff then. So accept his service.
I am honored.
Oh, the honor is ours. Thank you.
I should be dead.
Brilliant. Okay, so he makes that very easy for us to know when he's all finished and that he literally teleports away. So that's Yoel done. Fab. We are clear to progress now through the area. This gate up ahead opens with a lever at the side, which is kind of fun because if you try and get to it while everyone's all fighting, it can be a bit chaotic. So we're going to open that up. There's a couple guys waiting for us on the other side, and our first bonfire just in this shack up ahead. We are going to rest at this bonfire, and we are going to travel back to the High Wall of Lothric. I thought about putting this section in the last episode, but it felt like the last episode was kind of complete. So we're just doing it quickly now because it has links to the current episode. It'll all make sense. So what we're going to do is, now that we have the cage key, the cell key. Now we have the cell key. We are going to head back to the tower on the wall. It's really nice how we don't have to go back to Firelink Shrine. We can warp to anywhere from anywhere. I really like that about Dark Souls 3. So yeah, tied on the wall, and we're going to head down to Greirat. If you missed the part where we picked up the cell key, we picked it up in a room that was kind of chaotic. We were using fire bombs to try and take everyone out one by one. There was dogs, there was an Estus shard on an anvil. That room had the cell key in it, guarded by a dog. It was a bit chaotic, but it's one of those rooms you can't just like run in and grab stuff and run out because you end up dying. So it was one that took us a couple tries, but that's where the cell key was. So here's Greirat. All we have to do is open the door and chat to him a couple times, and then when he disappears, that's his sort of quest line progressed. Okay, so be sure to accept his quest. He wants us to go to the Undead Settlement. Whoa, what a coincidence. And fetch for him something that's not going to make him too happy. So with him saved, now we are going to head back to the bonfire and head back to the Undead Settlement. Here's a fun fact. If there are enemies nearby to a bonfire, you will be unable to rest at that bonfire. I'm pretty sure you can still light it, but you'll be unable to rest at it. So here's us warping back to the bonfire that we just unlocked. Yeah, it's definitely worth getting Greirat before you progress through the Undead Settlement any further. And that's because, like I said, the person that he's wanting us to find is here in this area. So we just had to quickly pop and do that, and now we're ready to progress. So the enemies in this area, they vary from the tiny little guys are probably the most annoying, followed by the very biggest guys, and then you've got these guys in the middle that are just like no bother at all. There's a lot of these hanging bodies, these sort of mummified, wrapped bodies. A couple of them you'll be able to knock down just by rolling into them. Some of them you might find it easier just to whip out your bow and your arrows and shoot them down. But there's a couple like quite good things to pick up off of them, so always make sure if you see a sparkly body, well, obviously you want to get that loot. Yeah, these little guys, these little thralls, much like Greirat, you know, I mean, he's a nice one. These are not nice ones. They are a pain in the ass. They tend to attack in pairs and they tend to hide in the shadows, much like if we see down here. Yep, we got one down here, so it's good to just get a plunging attack on this one. And then you only have the other two to worry about in this room. Behind you! That was another reason why I do urge people to wear headphones when they play this game, because like we heard those guys drop to the floor before we could see them. Yeah, if you're fighting two of these guys at once, it is a bit chaotic with this build. You basically want to try and like start an attack animation as they are like gonna run into it, because they are so zippy and they can dodge you as well. So it just all becomes a bit, oh beautiful, all becomes a bit chaotic. We did miss something upstairs, but with those guys dead, now we're sort of safe and chill to go and get the thing, the very important thing. Charlie's just remembered that she does like playing this game with very light burden, so she's taken her armor off again. This body, this item on this body, this is the quest item for Greirat's quest, so it's a very important one. Knock that down and then we'll go down and pick it up in a second. We've just picked up some repair powder there, which you will hardly ever use because your weapons are automatically repaired when you rest at a bonfire in this game, which is the best change ever. This is Loretta's bone, and unfortunately the body inside that bag was Loretta, Greirat's long-lost friend that he asked us to find. She's dead. She's been dead for probably quite a long time, which is a shame. A damn shame. And he's not going to be too happy about it. So more on that in a bit. But as long as you pick up the bone, we can progress the quest. These are explosive barrels, so be aware if you are using fire. Maybe you've got a fire gem inserted into your weapon. Maybe you pick that as your burial gift. Be aware, you do not want to hit an explosive barrel with a fire weapon, obviously. You'll get blown up in the face. What I find quite cool about these guys is if there are ever like two of them, or maybe they're attacking you in like a small space, you can roll into them and it proper confuses them. Big stagger on them. These big evangelists are, they're a little trickier. They're very chonky, as you can see. They've got that big old hammer, which will always hit twice. Well, tends to always hit twice. So you want to dodge twice and then return fire. If you ever see her get covered in fire, she's a way to do a grab attack. So do be careful with that because that could be a one-shot kill for you at this stage. But they're not too bad. They're quite easy to backstab as well. You just need to pick your moments, know your attack windows, not get too greedy, only hit once or twice. Just the standard stuff. There's an ember to pick up there. We have missed an item, but we'll pick it up in just a second. Just at that tree there. Very important item to pick up just here. There we go. It's like she wanted the area to be safe first before picking up the Estus shard, but whereas I would just grab it and run. Okay, there's a body hanging from the tree here. We're going to need our bow for that, so let's just go ahead and re-equip that. Everything you have equipped does contribute to your weight, your burden, so it's a good idea if you're not using something just to unequip it. So make sure you don't have like a bunch of weapons or shields equipped if you're not using them, because it is all contributing to how fast you're running, how fast you're rolling, your stamina regeneration, all those kind of things. So don't be an Elon Musk, okay? You don't need 3 shields. Okay? Right. So at this crossroads, there are 3 paths. I actually think there's 4. There's 3 paths available to us. What we're going to do is we're going to show you like all 3 paths, but like the most logical way of moving through all of them. We're going to finish on that one on the right. This one in the middle makes sense to go through first, because we're just going to clear out the enemies there, and then they won't bother us as we go through the other path, because they kind of drop down and they can make the other path a bit of a pain. So we're going to take this middle path. Getting these guys first. Purely for the purposes of killing these 2 little thralls. Ooh, Titanite shard there. Very important, because we need to pick up as many of these Titanite shards as we can, so we can level up our weapons as high as we can before the next boss. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog. She's got a toy, and the toy is now all over my carpet in little bits. Again, fighting 2 little thralls at once just seems to be a weakness of this build, unfortunately. You have got loads of Estus flasks, and it is no trouble just to like quickly run back to a bonfire if we need. So don't be afraid just to use them. Keep yourself topped off. So this hole here is where these guys would have dropped down on us. So we can remember that for later. So we just killed them just so that they're dead and they won't bother us in a bit. Evie, no. So now heading to the left path. There is a door we can open just here. Don't miss it, because in here there's a couple of really cool things that you don't want to miss. Over here, this guy, you'll notice because you can target them. So get in the habit of just going through, pressing R3 on your controller. Hopefully you're playing on controller. I get people asking me sometimes like, oh, what's the keyboard input? And I'm like, what? These games are so much harder with a mouse and keyboard, so hopefully you're playing with a controller. If you insist on using keyboard controls, I'm really sorry. You're going to have to look up the keybinds, because I'm not familiar with them, because I'm a controller scrub. So yeah, this room, you can fall down a hole and it takes you down to the sort of like, not a hidden area, the sort of extra area, which we actually fell down a bit prematurely fighting these guys. So these guys in the cages, like I said, you can always sort of like try and target to see if they're alive, if they're going to fight back. Pick up the charcoal pine resin. That's going to be very helpful for the next boss. Yeah, try and target them. They will kick and scratch and throw poo at you. I'm pretty sure that was poo. They're kind of a pain, and also they have this ridiculous defense, physical defense, because I guess it's the like iron bars in the cage or whatever. So yeah, it's a long-winded kind of like stab, back off, stab, back off. That one's alive. You can tell, like if you're playing on like a really nice monitor, you can kind of tell, because they're like much brighter than the dead ones, like the live ones are. They stand out, they do. But the easiest way to find out if they're alive or not in advance is just to try and target them. So we do want to take out this one fairly fast, because there is a guy coming down the corridor. You can see the hole in the ceiling. That's where those 2 thralls would have jumped down and added to this fight and just made it so much harder. Luckily, our twin blades are really well leveled, so we were able to like one cycle that guy. That guy can be quite difficult, but if you're able just to like wail on him with a full stamina bar, he's, well, as you can see, very easy. Another reason why we're recommending this build is just because things like that, which can be quite difficult to other builds, are just so easy with this build. But like I mentioned before, like no build has 0 weaknesses. Obviously, this has weaknesses. If you're not really liking the twin blades, Then, of course, please feel free if you want to like chat about builds in the comments below. I'm happy to talk about that. Happy to make some suggestions. If you say to me, Rach, I just love a big bonk, I'll be like, oh, I should pick up the large club that's in this area. Stuff like that. The only thing I might not be able to help you with is if you're like, oh, I really want to play a half faith, half int, half strength. I'll be like, no, sorry, don't do that. And also the 3 halves. Interesting maths. Okay, so with those guys down, there's a little secret hidden path here that we can go down and grab a soul. Again, going to be very helpful in a bit when we need some souls to buy some stuff. We're looking not too good, not too well, I should say, in the health department. We're out of Estus, so we're pretty much like, when this happens to you, and it will happen to you in these larger areas, like you're going to die. It's just a matter of like exploring as much as you can before you die, and then having the confidence to say, yeah, I feel like I could get back here again without dying twice. But the thing is, it might just be something that you have to get used to. Death, dying in these games, like it's gonna happen, and also you're gonna lose souls as well. But I think once you start realizing that it's not the end of the world, you can always grind. Like, as mindless as it is, you can always grind. You can always get souls. Souls are free, really. They just cost time. You're never going to lose anything other than time in these games. So, like, once you get that mentality and hopefully not get too bothered by dying, I realize it's easy for me to say because obviously, I mean, it doesn't happen to me very often because I'm very good at video games, but like hopefully that advice helps someone who's getting a bit frustrated, because there are frustrating areas, don't get me wrong, and this area is one of them. This evangelist shooting the, oh my god, it does so much damage. This is a frustrating area, but there we go. We're just using our Estus flasks because we've got them, so we're using them. Getting up here, we can't really get behind here for a backstab, so what we're doing is just being aware of the space around us, rolling, attacking, rolling, attacking. I feel like I don't even need to say that at this point. Like, you get it. Very important to come up here, though, unfortunately, to grab that Titanite shard, because we need it to level up our weapons. And if you didn't know, leveling up your weapon is so much more important than leveling up your character. It just does so much more damage, so yeah. If you head over this roof, this is very, very important for this build. There is a crystal lizard down there. Crystal lizards will run away when you startle them, and after a very short amount of time, they will disappear entirely. Don't worry though, they'll come back. You just have to either rest at a bonfire or reload the game, both of which are going to take time, and you know, we don't have time. Time is precious, so just be sure to make a beeline for the crystal lizard. We do hit the cliff there, that is something to be aware of. So hopefully you do get it because it drops a sharp gem. This will allow us to infuse our twin blades with sharpness, which will highly, highly increase the dex scaling. That's not something we're going to do right away because our dex is only at 20. So you'll probably find that they do more damage as they are. But as say when we get that dex to, oh god, I don't know off the top of my head, maybe if I had to guess, about 40, the sharpness will be a much, much bigger damage improvement than that, just base. Alrighty, so we've hit another bonfire. We have a path to the right, which actually ends up being a shortcut, so don't worry about that. And a path straight ahead, just under this sort of broken bridge thing here. We got these new enemies. Now, they have big boards strapped to their back, so they can be backstabbed, and they've got big saws, and then later on, some of them have giant jars. You can make them fall off the edge, but mostly they're tracking, and by that I mean like when they try and hit you, they're surprisingly dumb, as you can see here. They're not very good at aiming. Their tracking is very poor. So just be patient and wait for them to start attacking complete, like, thin air, and then you can hit them back. Even though they can't be backstabbed, you should still hit them in the back because that is the safest place to hit them. We're now heading back to the first bonfire, and we're going to take the rightmost path. So that's that path done for now. We'll come back there in a bit, but let's just show you what is down here on the right. So if we cross this bridge, got a couple guys here to take out one at a time beautifully. And then at the end here, just before the door, there is a guy, a little guy, just a little guy who's a little bit more tricky. So this thrall has a flamberge. And he's a little bit harder to stun. He's got way more health than the other thralls. He takes like 3 or 4 hits to go down. He does have a chance to drop his weapon, if that's your kind of thing. But hopefully I've convinced you that the twin blades are pretty good and you're enjoying those. I hope you're enjoying those. Charlie swears by them. I asked her, like, what is it about the twin blades that you love so much? And she was just like, yeah, the moveset mainly. I mean, obviously it goes without saying they have really high damage per second. Like, you get 2 attacks in 1 hit, which contributes to the stagger. When you infuse them with sharp, that makes them, to quote her, makes them extra dexy. And you can buff them with resins and stuff as well, which is not something you can do with a lot of like boss weapons and special weapons, that kind of stuff. You can't use resins on them. So that coupled with the speed and the moveset, they are just such a solid choice. Obviously, they're not the best weapon in the game because, like, obviously everyone has their preference. Personally, I do prefer to play at range, or I prefer to have something I can sort of fall back on defensively, like a shield. But because they are a starting weapon, like you get them right from the start, you can get them leveled up really high really quickly, as you will see in this episode, and you can just smash through things. Okay, we take one look at this area up ahead. It is full of explosive battles, and we go, nah, not today. So that was just to show you, like, that's one way that you can enter that place. But we're going to go around the side. Unfortunately, though, the side is also quite perilous, and we do have lots of these thralls on the rooftops here. So, you know, I mean, there's never any easy path through this game, is there? Well, I guess there is, and it's the twin blades that I'm showing you it. So just as much as we can, we're going to try and take them down one by one. Please do also remember we do have a bow. So although they are shooting stuff at us, we can also shoot stuff back at them, which proves to be very effective here. We do get shot in the face, but then we shoot them in the face more, and that's what this game's all about. Simply reduce his health to 0 before he reduces your health to 0. You can free aim. Which almost gets us killed, but you can do that if you like. And just take this guy down. Oh, he's got like a sliver of health left. That's sad. Obviously, if you're too close to a wall or a rocky outcrop, yeah, arrows will do that. But like I said, we've got plenty of Estus, so it's okay. Don't ever be afraid to take a hit or 2. It's obviously if you get caught in a combo, then it's GG, but you know, we've got plenty of Estus, don't be afraid to use them. This guy, was so close to jumping off the edge. They're such sippy little buggers. I don't really like them. Luckily, they have quite low health, so there's that. At least they don't all have the health of the Flamberge one. That would suck. Yep, round the corner here, a plank shield. Hello, Bloodborne. Very important NPC. Another Nana disappeared, so Grandson carries a cage. He ever has his cage, and Nana's never coming back. So that's a weird thing to say. Oh, come into the cage. He pretty much tells you exactly what to do. What? What do you mean you don't understand? What do you mean he's chatting nonsense? He told us exactly what to do. So there is a cage bearing enemy down there. You can see us looking at him. He is completely neutral, will not attack us, and we can come into his cage. You can still do that without speaking to this NPC, it still works, but that guy is what gives you the breadcrumb, puts the idea in your head, and that will lead us to a very much hidden covenant to cross off the trophy list. I'm pretty sure it's a trophy to find all the covenants in this game. Firebombs. Firebombs are always useful. Good to pick them up. And then if we head down here to this roof and pick up this, oh, it's a Homeward Bourne. I thought it was more exciting than that, sorry. I thought it was something else. Here is our cage friend. So he will not attack us. He actually turned around and showed us his cage, like, hey, is this what you're looking for? Not yet, because there is a mummified, wrappy body here. This one's a bit tricky, because careful, obviously, if you fall from here, you're dead. no matter what. So you can hit it with your weapons, or you can roll and... Oh, that's going to be out of reach for us for now, unfortunately. But we can come back and get it later. It is a ring, and it's a ring that could be quite useful later on. So we will come back. But hopefully you did manage to grab that one. And then we'll approach our cage friend and examine his cage, which will start a wee cutscene, and it will teleport us to an area that won't make any sense right now. God, we're going to have to get something to cover that bra. Like, this feels indecent. Yeah, this area won't make sense now, but it will in a bit. That shadowy figure in the distance, no, it's not the bell-bearing hunter. This is, I forget his name. He is Mr. Mound Maker. The Mound Makers are a covenant that are very interesting. They're all about, like, madness, and they're invasions with... inverted commas. You can be a helpful invader, or you can be a not nice helpful invader. Like, you kind of get the option to help your host and be a boss for them, or to turn on them and attack them and kill them, which I think is a really cool dynamic. You appear as like a purple phantom. Yeah, I think it's really cool, but it would always set my heart flipping racing whenever I played this game online. I don't tend to play these games online because usually I'm doing some kind of challenge or a walkthrough or whatever. But if you do think that sounds fun, there's a lot of really fun covenants in Dark Souls 3, and the Mound Makers, if that's one that sounds fun to you, yeah, go for it. Here's where you find it. This is highly, highly missable. If you beat the boss of this area without speaking to Mr. Mound Maker, I won't spoil it, but the Covenant is unavailable until later in the game. If I'm not mistaken, you might still be able to join it, but I'm pretty sure it's unavailable if he dies. Oh, did I say he dies? I mean, he goes away to live at the farm. So the weird thing about here is that there is no bonfire, so we're unable to warp out of here, but luckily we have a homeward bone. So we have warped back to this bonfire. I'm so sorry, I've forgotten the name of it, but it's the second bonfire in the area with the broken bridge, where we found our saw-toting friend. So this is the way we're going to go now. This is the way to progress. This is the way to the boss. And unfortunately, it's the way to that giant bowman that we saw atop that tower right back at the start of the area. So this next sort of little section is like a great arrow graveyard. And that's your clue to sort of err on the side of caution as you go through here. Because these great arrows are going to be raining from the sky constantly. The good thing is they do not differentiate friend from foe, because to him they're all foes, and anyone that comes near this white tree is getting shot with an arrow. So you can use it to your advantage, and you can draw out all the enemies in this area, and you can let them get shot. Very important to jump over here. I know it's fraught with peril, and grab this undead bone shard. This is a very, very important item that's going to increase the level of our Estus flask, allow it to heal for more, or if you're using the blue flasks, allow you to recover more FP. Here, just to point out the white tree, there's a couple of these white trees in the game with these giant archers protecting them, and they have young white branch at the bottom of them. So we did pick up a couple there, but it's meaningless in this area. It's not the right kind of white branch, I guess. If you had picked the burial gift of the young white branch, now that is different. That is a friendly young white branch. Apparently they're different. And it means that the giant will not actively target you with its great arrows in this area. He will target enemies though, and if you are near an enemy, it will also hit you. So be aware of that. But hopefully I explained that properly when we were going over burial gifts. It's good, but it's not. I just think it's a whole starting gift that's only useful for one very specific little area. So, but then again, we picked the black fire bombs, which is only good for one specific little area. So there's no wrong choice. Here's another Flamberge thrall. So a much higher health, and but we do manage to get him taken down with a great arrow. It is definitely worth coming through here to pick up this. These are the Mortician's Ashes. We're going to give them to the Shrine Handmaiden in the Firelink Shrine, and that will expand her inventory in a very, very good way. It's going to allow us to buy a key to allow us to meet another NPC later on in this area. So we need to pick those up, as scary as it is. Running into this room, we're going to immediately target this red-eyed lad with the sickle. However, things are getting a little bit dicey, so if you run up the stairs here, we can sort of funnel them through. The other guy at the bottom's distracted, getting caught on the geometry or geography? Geometry. If you do jump over here, this weapon is a scythe, which looks much cooler than it is. Scythe is not that great in this game, unfortunately. It's one of the best weapons, if not the best non-boss weapon, in my opinion, in Dark Souls 1, for a lot of reasons, but it's not that great in this game, unfortunately. Right, okay, so we have Zero Estus, and on our left is the boss fight. It is not the most straightforward boss fight, so we're not going to do it just yet. I mean, you should never walk into a very, very obviously boss room with no Estus. So we're going to go this way through these doors, and we are going to open up a very good shortcut from a bonfire to this boss. So don't worry about it. We won't have to run through the arrow graveyard again. We're going to come from this direction. We do, however, have a couple of enemies to clear out on the way. We've got another evangelist, which hopefully I can show you more of. Oh, never mind, she's dead already. The twin blades are just so good. Their biggest weakness, I say, these evangelists, is aggression. Because if you allow them to start casting their fiery grab and allow them to start comboing with their hammer, that's when they start getting dangerous. Oh, up on the right hand side here, don't miss this soul. Definitely worth picking up. It's a large one. But you do get ambushed, so be aware of that. Oh god. This is another one of those moments where we've kind of accepted that we're probably going to die soon. So we maybe want to try and focus on opening the shortcut. I don't know. I think she's sort of resolved herself to saying, yeah, I'm probably going to die. We're just going to try and accomplish as much as we can until the inevitable happens. So there's a bit up there that we can do. Yeah, we're going for the shortcut now, which is the right thing to do for sure. Oh, Ember? We're going to pop an Ember? Oh, fantastic. So if you pop an Ember when you are unembered, it is a full heal. And then obviously you get that 100% health pool as well. We had 9, which is a lot of them. So that was a solid thing to do because it's very important that we do get through this tunnel unscathed in order to open up the shortcut. So yeah, that's a solid thing to do. Rather than just sort of giving up and rolling over and dying, popping an Ember is the way to go. This is why we popped the Ember, because these rats, the chip damage from these rats is nuts. They will all attack all at once. Can be easier to fight without lock-on because you can sort of sweep around and hit a couple of them at once, sort of AoE them. In this fog just ahead, at the end of this tunnel, there is a giant rat. And they hit really, really hard. Now, our health is looking pretty good, but we are just being extra cautious, like I said, because we are so close to a checkpoint, to a shortcut. We're just going to leave the rat for now, dodge around it, take it a safe distance away from the ladder, and then climb up the ladder. We do still get hit, but we are good. As soon as we open this door, that is checkpoint open. So that was the second bonfire in this area. If we had gone to the right across the bridge, that leads to this tunnel. Defeating the giant rat gives you the blood bite ring, and it's much easier to defeat the rat from this side because you can get a plunging attack down on it, and it's very, very fun to roll off that ladder and plunging attack that rat. It's a good time. Always do it, every single time. We didn't go back and rest at the bonfire, which is interesting, but that does mean that we have all these enemies that we've already cleared out. They're still cleared out. So it means that we don't have to kill all those again in the interest of time. Because Charlie is quite confident. She's played this game a lot. However, I would recommend, if this is yourself, I'd recommend going back, resting at a bonfire, taking your time. Look at it this way. Oh. Look at it this way. Everything that you kill multiple times, it's souls. It's more souls for more levels. Here you go. Here's the shortcut. Nice plunging attack on the big rat. we're just going to scrub through this nice and quick just to... I do think it's important to keep in this run back so you can see like how the shortcuts all connect up. I think it's quite easy to get lost when you quickly cut between areas, so I've kept in a lot of the run backs when we do die. And boy, do we die. This game is hard. So hopefully hopefully that's appreciated. Right, there's our souls to pick up. And yeah, everything did respawn, but yeah, I do recommend going back, resting, getting your souls back, and then everything else that you kill again is just more souls for your pocket. So we didn't fully explore this little bit up here. If we stick to the left-hand cliff... Oh, we're going to kill everything again. Very good. I reckon they would ignore you. If you just go up here, I think they'd ignore you, but I think she's going to go for it. See, this is what gets me killed, because I go, did you see me? But then if you just think, right, I'm just going to go and kill them, then you won't be surprised. You won't get a nasty shock as you suddenly are hit from behind. Very good. Okay, now we are totally free to head up this ramp and do this little bit up here. Now that we have some health and some heals. Those guys were totally passive. Seems mean to kill them. So there's a guy up here with a giant pot of soup. It is good soup. I think it's like people soup. It looks like people soup. So we're going to attack him. And then you might recognize this area once we go through. You might recognize this as an area that we approached from that door up ahead. And we thought, nope, I'm not doing that. It's much easier to do this little bit from this side. Oh, a little bit of chip damage there. But if you fall down off the ledge here, one, we escape the fiery battles. And two, there is another bonfire down here and another little bit to pick up down here as well. So yeah, if you just sort of like, oh, Titanite shard, importante. If you just sort of like run past the explosive barrels or even run through a couple of them and head off the ledge. Bonfire lit. So this is just another checkpoint that we can have if we need it. Good to have all the bonfires for this bit up ahead. And also I suppose that bonfire can serve as a checkpoint for the boss. I don't know if I would do it personally. I do think the rat tunnel's maybe a bit easier. I don't know. It's personal preference. Up here on this rooftop, there is an important teacher NPC. This is Cornyx. He is a pyromancy trainer. Spellcasters, like spell trainers, medical trainers in this game work a little differently. Unfortunately, it's not free. You have to work for it and pay for it. You have to work and pay. What? You have to find special tomes, which are like keys. Think of them like keys around the world and then bring them back to the trainers who will be in Firelink Shrine, at least. They're all there. And then when you gift the trainer the tome, it will then unlock a number of spells that they can then sell to you. So this is Cornyx, and once you find some pyromancy tomes, he will sell you lots of pyromancies. I mean, he already sells like really basic ones, so if it was something that you were like, oh, I'd love to try some spells, like I love the twin blades, but like I'd love to throw some fire, we can get that now. And if you were fancying some fire, pick up just down here, there is a ring on this enemy here, or by this enemy here, I should say, fire clutch ring. So this will increase your fire damage. Again, if you pick the burial gift of the fire gem and you put that into your swords, again, which is totally a valid strat, you will now, if you wear this ring, you'll do more damage with your fire damage. So it's pretty good. But also, it makes you take more damage. Not very much. I think it's something trivial like 3%, 5%, 8%, something like that. I will fact check and I'll put a little note on the screen for you now. But it does make you take more damage, I believe, from all sources. So it's not free. What we're going to do now, because we have a lot of souls, we need these souls. We don't want to risk losing them. And also we only have one Estus flask, is for now, we are going to travel back to the Firelink Shrine and just do a couple of things. There's like a key that we need to buy, etc. So that's what we're heading back for now. The bonfire is super close going through this tunnel. The rats are a bit of a pain, but you can, like, get used to just running around them. Right, Firelink Shrine, wahoo! Shrine Handmaiden. First thing we're going to do is give her the ash that we found. Give Umbral Ash, Mortician's Ashes. Just checking if you did miss this. It was in the Great Arrow Graveyard area. And if you're having trouble in that bit and you want to come back there later when there's not arrows flying at you, that's totally valid because we will stop the arrows. Now that we've given her the Mortician's Ashes, we can buy the Grave Key. 1,500 souls, very cheap. There's more embers available to buy. I think she now sells you charcoal pine resin infinitely, which is pretty cool. And I don't think anything else is new. Is that armor new? I don't know. But the main thing is the Grave Key. I think we're good for arrows for just now. Oh, we've bought some more arrows. Very good. The torch will be useful in a later area, so it's worth picking that up. It's only 300 souls, and we've got some souls to spare. Yeah, torch is very, very useful in an upcoming area, actually. Purple moss clump, again, that's going to be useful later. So we'll go ahead and actually buy a couple of those while we're at it. And then if we forget about it later, then we haven't forgotten about it because we've already done it. That leaves us with 10,600 souls. We're heading next to Andre. We are going to level up our weapons as high as they will go, which is probably going to be quite high because we picked up a ton of Titanite shards. So we can get that to 3. And we can get it to 4, in fact, because we did pick up 2 large titties. One was from banishing the dragon in the high wall, and one was from Pickle Pea and Pumparum. Trading with them, I believe that was trading a firebomb with them, gave us a large titty. So that gets us to +4 on our twin blades, which is massive. So that's going to be really, really good. We can now also as well... Oh no, we can't. We can't use the sharp gem yet because we have to find a key item for Andre in order to unlock the ability to infuse with sharp. That's okay. That'll come soon. Did we give him the Estus shard? I must have missed that, Jeff. Red card? Be sure to give him the Estus shard as well. Here's Cornyx. Like I mentioned, he can sell you some pyromancies if you like. If you just simply chat to him, he will give you a pyromancy flame. I don't believe he gives you a spell to go with it. Don't burn yourself. Yeah. So you've got a flame, but you can't do anything with it unless you buy a pyromancy. So you can buy Fireball there, which is a ranged pyromancy, or Flame Spray, which is a close range. Fire Surge. Flash Sweat there, interesting. That could become very useful later in the playthrough. It could be useful to any build for a certain area in this game. And then you've got the Pyromancer Drip, which is, I like it. I like that set. I think it looks nice. I like the little antler. And yeah, like I mentioned, if you bring him more tomes, he can sell you much more powerful pyromancies.
Do not be gone for long.
Okay, next we're going to go and speak to greirat, who is a merchant and also has a little quest line. We have already picked up Loretta's bone, however we are not going to give him it just yet. Very important. First of all, we're going to purchase something that's important to Charlie but may not be important to you. And that is to purchase a buckler. If you don't know the difference between shields, there is sort of like a regular medium shield, a small shield, and then there's a great shield. So the buckler is a small shield. Small shields have the highest, or largest, I should say, window for parrying. They're the most forgiving. They're the easiest shields to parry with. Which for an upcoming boss is the most effective way to defeat that boss, but it's a ballsy tactic, so if it sounds scary to you and you'd rather save 2,000 souls, fair enough, but my advice, go on, give it a try, it's really fun. So once you've bought the buckler, give him Loretta's bone. Understandably, he's a bit upset finding out that his pal is dead, and this sends him into a little bit of a depression.
You can keep the ring.
So he is now unavailable for the time being as a merchant.
I suppose.
But don't worry, we'll get him back. And also, as we progress his quest, we will expand his inventory as well. And he'll have more things for sale.
Goodbye.
Okay, now to see what we've got to play with for leveling up. We do want to level our HP up, our vigor, quite a bit. That is now the focus for the next upcoming boss and the next upcoming areas. It's just going to make the biggest difference. Like, our damage is really good thanks to our weapons being at +4. Now our best friend is going to be just more health. The more health we have, the more hits we can take, the more forgiving this game is. Massively, you'll find. Going from 15 to, say, 20 vigor has a massive, massive improvement. Oh, there we go. Right. Yeah, I thought that we didn't hand him the Estus shards. Now we have. So once we rest, we will have 7 Estus flasks, which is mint. It'll allow us to explore for longer. Right, now to chat to Yoel, who is here sort of hiding in the corner. Yoel's a very interesting NPC. I mentioned when we met him. He is tied to directly to the Dark Lord ending, which is a trophy, which is the, I guess, the true ending to Dark Souls 3. It's a big puzzle. There's a lot of NPCs involved and a lot of like a little bit of backtracking and all sorts and things that you wouldn't really find without a guide or without paying a lot of attention to the world around you and the clues around you, or by paying attention to this walkthrough. So we are going to do the Dark Lord ending. So that starts with this NPC here. So Yoel will allow us to draw out our true strength, and in that he just basically gives us levels for free. They don't cost any souls. He just magics us to be stronger. Now he can grant us 5 of these free levels, but at a price. They will, with every level, increase our hollowing level. And if you've played Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, you are familiar with hollowing. The more you die, especially Dark Souls 2, the more hollow you become. And that is a mechanic in Dark Souls 3, but only if you are using the free levels gifted by Yoel. If you never meet Yoel, you can die as much as you like. You will stay pretty and smooth-skinned and all sorts. But as you get more hollow, you do get more sort of cursed looking, just like in Dark Souls 1 and 2. So we're going to use the free level from Yoel, level up our vigor. That gets us to 18.
Be safe.
Be safe. That's quite funny because the thing that triggers Yoel to allowing you another level is if you literally die. So for every 2 deaths that you undergo, Yoel will offer you to draw out your true strength. So that's exactly what we're going to do right now. Now is a very good time to do it as we're just chilling here in the Firelink shrine, because all we have to do is just throw ourselves off a cliff a couple of times. So this does take a wee bit of time, but it's worth doing it now because, again, without spoiling it, but I'm going to spoil it, we will be unable to do it later on for reasons. So if you just go ahead, throw yourself off a cliff off over here, and then as you respawn, head up, grab your souls again if you have some. We do have a tidy little pile, so we do grab them every time. And then simply rinse and repeat. Go throw yourself off the cliff again. So that's you died twice. And then when you resurrect, I mean, obviously you can grab your souls again, but we'll be back up there in a minute. We're instead going to head to the left and head down to Yoel here. Chat to him. He's like, oh, actually, I think you can do this again. Get another point in vigor. As you can see up the top there, our hollowing is now 2. There will be an item in our inventory, which we don't show off in this video, but basically there's ways we can track how hollow we are. And hollowing is one of them. Right, so there's 2 more deaths. It takes a lot longer than this. I've skipped it for you. Head back to Yoel. Draw out true strength.
I would do anything.
Our hollowing is now at 6, so it's sort of ramping with every death.
Be safe.
We're getting hollower and hollower. Right, another 2 deaths. 1. And a 2. And then back to Yoel. Our hollowing is now at 12, so it's almost like it doubles every time. So yeah, that's at 12. So we've gotten, this is the 3rd one now. So we'll get our 3rd level again into vigor.
Then shall we?
What is really interesting as well is that taking the free levels does not increase the amount of souls needed for your next like natural level up, which I think is really good. Right, another 2 deaths for our 4th free level. This bit takes a while, but like I said, it's worth doing now. If you were wanting to go for that Dark Lord ending, if you're not bothered, there's no like secret boss or anything. It's just a trophy. And obviously if you're interested in the lore and, you know, seeing that side of things, and obviously if you're interested in free levels. Right, here's our 4th. Our hollowing is at 20. Oh wait, is that our 5th? That's our 5th. Yes. Ah, we've achieved ample strength. Look, I was too busy talking about Dark Souls 3. I actually didn't realize. Yeah, that was our 5th. So, we're done. We have 20 hollowing. We are flipping on our way to being Hollow Lord. Very good. And we got a really, really big boost to vigor. Look at that big chunky red bar. Beautiful. Do not forget to burn your undead bone shard. You can only do this at the bonfire in the Firelink shrine, and that'll increase the level on your Estus flask. So now we're going to head back to the Undead Settlement. And in particular, the Undead Settlement bonfire of the Undead Settlement. We're going to just quickly scrub through this bit here because we are heading back along this path on the right just to pick up that item that we very clumsily allowed to escape us. It is it's definitely worth picking up. It's worth travelling back around the right-hand side here, up the ladder, where we found the guy with the cage. We're not going in the cage, obviously. And here it is here, just hanging on the tree. So you can sort of position yourself behind it. You do not want this to drop because it's very difficult, nigh on impossible to survive this fall. So there you go, position behind it and sort of roll so it lands in a safe place to pick it up. This is the Flame Stone Plate ring, which increases your fire damage absorption and therefore makes you take less damage from fire. As opposed to the Fire Clutch ring, which makes you do more damage with your own fire. So rings wise, I guess it would not hurt. We've got 2 spare slots here, so we could equip our Flamestone Plate ring. We could also equip our Bloodbite ring. They're not really going to do much at the minute. In fact, they're not actually going to do anything at the minute. But they would be better than having 2 open slots. Charlie's doesn't have the same opinion as me, apparently. But yeah, Flamestone Plate ring, definitely worth picking up for a future area that's coming up. I'd say about midway through this game. Heading back through here to where we found this hidden bonfire. We are going to rest here just for the crack. Head up on the roofs and down, and suddenly we are at this bit here around the back of the boss. This tunnel up ahead goes to the rats. It goes back to the bonfire. So it all sort of interconnects, which is lovely. Once you starting to recognize, you know, where you are, it does feel pretty good. So this is the direction we're going now. We haven't been this way yet. There are a few guys up ahead that we don't really want them all attacking us all at once. So what we're going to do, whip out our bow, quickly take out this guy here. Well, I mean, you could shoot him twice to kill him, or you could just pull him and wait for him to come to you. All good. And then we're going to do the same, get the bow back out, shoot this guy, try and get this guy to come, so we're not fighting him with the one that's behind it. There's 2, actually. We could potentially, if we're clumsy enough, be fighting 3 of these at once, so we don't want that. So get in the habit of stopping before you get to a next area and like just whipping out your bow and pulling things one at a time. He will always, always, always throw this pot of people soup at you as he approaches you. Always. So be ready for that, and do dodge that because it does ridiculous damage. It also does knockback as well. So don't get caught out by that. Same again, pulling this guy. He's quite far away. If you're ever curious, like, about the damage from like bows and arrows, there is like sort of drop off. So the further away you are, the less damage an arrow will do, which is quite interesting. There's ways you can increase this. This one again will throw his pot of soup at you at a distance. I suppose if you rushed him, like if you did run up to him, he wouldn't throw it at you. But it is much easier if you just get them to throw it at you, dodge it, get the saw out, and then you can dodge the saw pretty easily. Their tracking is terrible. So here we go. So if we do run up to this one, you can sort of cause him to fall off the edge if you're quick enough, but it's not worked in this case, unfortunately. This one's not going to throw the pot at us because we did manage to, you know, close that gap. Oh, he did try and... Never mind, he does try and throw it at you. But luckily it wasn't an issue. Just take out him. There are 2 dogs around the right-hand side of this shack, so be wary. They are the hardest enemies in the game. They are ready to pounce. We don't really have the luxury of fighting these guys one at a time. You just have to dodge, try and get a hit in. Again, you almost kind of want to like start an attack animation as the dog is running towards you so that it sort of runs into your attack. Because if you are attacking it while it's idle, chances are it's probably already starting up a bite or a scratch or whatever, or a jump or whatever dogs do. Oh god, I'm watching this and I'm just like, it's just very relatable content, isn't it? The dogs, man. You might find it easier as well, literally just to get the bow out, keep distance, and just shoot them with the arrows instead. That could work better. This guy on the left here, we can't do anything with him now, but we will be able to in a second. He is a bodyguard, and the lassie that he's looking after is just in this tunnel up ahead. We did already buy the key for it, thankfully, that we were able to buy from the handmaiden in the Firelink shrine after picking up the mortician's ashes in the Great Arrow Graveyard by the White Tree. So if you skipped that, why would you? Why are you not following this walkthrough? That's where we got that. So can't do anything with this guy just yet, but he will move as soon as we save his mistress. So he does give us a hint that, you know, through this big building here, this big church, that is the way to proceed. There's actually more branching paths here in this building. We can go up or we can go down. So we're going to start by going down. But first, this is a new NPC. You may recognize him, or you may recognize his armor. This is Siegward. Siegward of Katarina, wearing the Katarina set. If you've played Dark Souls 1, you'd be like, oh my god, it's Siegmeyer. No, it's not. It's a distant cousin. It's Siegward. So he is a questline that you can follow for a large portion of the game. He has this really beautiful conclusion to his quest. It's definitely worth following, and we'll show you all the steps that you need to complete in order to do that. So first of all, you just have to chat to him. Whenever you meet a new NPC, make sure you chat to them until they start repeating themselves, because a lot of the time when they do that, that means they're going to move to their next location. And in this case, very important for Siegward. Like, you can't progress anything unless he moves. So give him a good chatter. He gives you a hint here. The lift only goes down and I need to go up. That down doesn't get me anywhere. So there you go. He does give you a hint. But, you know, you can also just look up, and this lift does have a roof. So that gives you a hint as well as to how you might be able to go up as well as down. So we're going to start off just by standing on the lift as normal and heading down. There is a little mini boss down here, the watchdog of the Boreal Valley. No, that's Fort. Actually, it's something like that. Something of the Boreal Valley. Anyway, it's kind of like Fort, but he's skinny. He's got a big sword instead of a big hammer. He's very, very speedy, this guy. So do take caution with this guy. If you are able to dodge that first attack, you can just run around them and open the door. As soon as you get to the door, you are safe because you do have iframes while you are opening the door. Thanks, Dark Souls 2. If you're able to just quickly escape here, there is a bonfire right here. So my advice is to definitely get this bonfire, at least light it. Should probably rest at it because we have no Estus, yeah. Before you fight this guy, because he is quite tricky, he's very fast. You can also use the door here because he will never go past the door. You can back out through the door, hit him, back off, hit him, back off. He'll always get stuck in the door. So that's a really easy way to defeat him. But Charlie's showing you the sort of badass way, and it's literally just to hit and roll and hit and roll. Oh my god, right, okay, so we're going to retreat here. So there you go. So he will get caught in the door. You've got plenty of time to rest up, Esty. I think we're just going to finish him off with the bow. Again, I mean, you could take him from 100 to 0 just with the bow as well, like totally valid. He drops the Irithiel straight sword, which is infused already with frost. Frostbite, pretty cool. Not quite as cool as its Elden Ring version, but still pretty cool. Nice sword, but not as nice as the twin blades. So, worth doing for the amount of souls that it drops as well. And the practice, of course. So from here, to get the lift to go up again, we'll return in just a minute because it looks like we're doing Irina now. So we're going to head in here into the tunnel. Does not open from this side. So we need to find the other side of this tunnel. The sewer. Where was the sewer again? So it's just down here, down the hill, past our guys that have the soup. We can just run past everything and then enter the sewer here. So halfway through on the left, there will be a gate that we can open with the grave key, like I explained before. And we head in here, and the other side of this is it connects up to where we were before. So we're just going to stop and make sure that the rats and the dogs aren't chasing us. I think we're okay. I think we're safe here. Rats can't climb ladders. And then we're going to proceed on. We've got a little shiny to pick up here. It's a bit dank. It's a bit dark in these souls. This is the statue of Velka. So rather than be an NPC in this game, it is just a statue that you can interact with, which is a very good change, and more on that in a second. If you piss someone off, if you attack an NPC but don't kill them, etc., and you want them to forgive you, you can come to this statue of Velka for forgiveness. The good thing about this not being an NPC is, in Dark Souls 1, what happens if you attack the NPC that's meant to forgive you? Yeah, been there. So yeah, it's just a wee statue you can chat to. We're going to proceed on. The skeletons here are not like the ones later on in the game that you need to like double kill. So thankfully you literally just need to kill them once and then they'll no bother you anymore. But there are a lot of them, and always assume if you see a pile of bones, it's going to come alive and attack you. Because, yeah, there are a lot of them. We soul to pick up there, and then we can go to the next room. Like I said, assume a pile of bones is going to come alive and get you. That was very, very good, because that was going to be an ambush. So good to turn around and get that guy. Up here on the right, I believe we have another one. Oh, we got another one up ahead. Oh, this is not a skeleton. Where'd you come from? Okay, we have another crystal lizard here on the right. That you can just chase him until he gets to the wall. And then go for him. Do be careful that you don't bounce your weapons off of the wall. The guys up above us with the soup will throw their pots at us, so that's one to be aware of. So just keep moving. Oh, and also they'll jump down. So yeah, like I said, especially after you pick up that soul, just keep moving so they don't land on you. We're going to kite this guy just over here because we don't really need to fight him. This is where the sewer continues. But we may as well take him out so we're nice and safe. You don't really... It does make things harder, actually, when you start running past things and not killing them, because they always end up coming up behind you when you're killing the next thing up ahead. Oh, there is an item here we can shoot down on this corpse. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Hey, that was quite difficult to see, that one. It is a Blessed Red and White Shield +1. It's already been infused with a Titanite Shard. So there you go, there's a wee shield for you if you do prefer to have a bit of defense. Here's the room with the rats, okay? Just one rat. No, not just one rat, many rats. Handle it. So you can get the drop on some of them as they're coming through the hole, but they do have this like brief window of invulnerability as they're coming through. So possibly best just to, I mean, get the ones you can, but just back off, create some space. We've gone for the aggressive stance, but I guess it just depends. Like they can so quickly overwhelm you. If you manage to get down enough as they're coming through, yes, go aggressive. But if there's like all 5 of them coming out of there, create some space, take them out one at a time, pick your moments. There was a talisman there that we picked up that we can use to cast some miracles. And over here is our miracle teacher. This is Irina. And just speaking to her does help progress her questline, but she does have a little thing where she's like, oh, I'm blind. Whoever you are, if you're there, touch me. So you do want to touch her. The good, the correct response is to touch her. It's consensual. It's fine. It's just a little pat on the shoulder. This is a little hint that she's dealing with some inner demons. She's sort of torn between, yeah, so touch. She's torn between the light and the dark, guys. She doesn't know if she wants to be a miracle or a, I guess, dark miracle. Lassie. And that ties into her questline, which we will be talking about later on in the playthrough. But for now, all we have to do is get to her, touch her, let her know she's not alone, and she'll relocate to the Firelink Shrine where we can progress her questline. So yeah, as always, we're just going to chat to her until she starts repeating herself. Irina of Karim. She does have a second question here. Do you accept my service? Obviously, the answer is yes. That you will need to select in order to unlock her as a medical teacher. And once you do that, she will relocate to the Firelink Shrine, where we can progress her questline further. This gate here is the gate that we found before with her bodyguard. And once you've rescued her, he'll be like, okay, I guess I'd better come to her, and he will relocate to her. He is also important to Irina's questline, so be sure to come out here and chat to him so that he relocates also. So this is Egon, I forgot his name. Egon, Knight of Karim. He gives a little hint there. I am allied to you as long as Irina is safe. If that changes, then so will our alliance. So bear that in mind with any future decisions you may make concerning her. All right, so that is almost everything done in this area. We've got one more place to go to before it is the boss and the conclusion of the Undead Settlement. For this, we're going to take the lift upwards. We're just going to run straight across the lift so that it goes down. And then when it reaches the bottom, we're then going to notice there's another lift on top of it, which was the roof. No, it's not. It's another heckin' pressure plate, and we can go up this time. You do hear a little midway through, which is another hint. But here at the top, we're going to just handle the top first. Little soul to pick up here, and then if we head up the stairs, we can chat to the giant bowman who was shooting the great arrows at us in the graveyard by the white tree. So if you meet him here and make peace, he will gift you a young white branch. But it's different to the young white branches that we picked up down in the graveyard. It's got a different slot. It doesn't stack with the other ones. It's got a little thing on it that says, good friend, no hit. So while you have this in your inventory, you'd get one like this if you'd pick this as the burial gift, this exact same one. While you have this in your inventory, the giant bowman in this area and a future area will not shoot you with the arrows. They will, however, still shoot enemies. So if you're stacked on the enemies while he's shooting them, I mean, obviously you're gonna get hit, so bear that in mind, but he will not actively target you anymore, which is great. So if you didn't manage to, pick up the ashes or the blue set or the undead bone shard, all that sort of stuff that was down there in the graveyard that we already picked up, now is a good time to do it because you'll have very little resistance now. You won't have to dodge arrows anymore anyway. So you can go and do that. Sorry, my voice is proper husky. I've had the cold. I'm just over it. I think we're doing okay. I think we're doing all right. Right, so that was the very tippy-toppy of the lift. Now we're going to roll off about halfway through. You can see a platform just here. In my opinion, it's slightly easier to roll off as the lift is going up rather than the lift is going down, just in case you miss. Because if you miss going down, you are dead. But, hey. So Siegward has relocated here. He's sitting here on the edge of this roof, looking down at this demon. You see just down there, the fiery demon with the big axe. Dark Souls 1 vibes, yeah. So he's like, what do I do now? There's a big old demon in the way. And the answer is, bruh, let's just team up and we'll fight it together.
On some days I begin to doubt myself. I went up the tower.
So just talk to him until he starts repeating himself. As always, God, now I'm repeating myself. And then we will head down and initiate. All we have to do is jump down. And then Siegmar is like, Siegward, look at me. He's like, okay, let's go. So bear in mind, chat to him, jump down. You could just jump down right away and he would still follow you. But just if you're enjoying the lore and story and stuff and enjoying making friends, I could try talking some sense into him. That is the meme on Twitch where you're struggling with a boss and then chat is like, have you tried asking nicely? And I'm like, yes, I have tried asking this boss to nicely just roll over and die. Yes. Siegward. Okay, so if we roll onto this roof here, here's a fun fact. On this roof in New Game Plus, there is a +1 life ring here. There's a couple rings that you can only find in New Game Plus. They are upgraded versions of regular rings. Well, there's one found here. I do think that's quite interesting. Like, New Game Plus doesn't just add to the difficulty, etc. It's got like things that you can only get in subsequent playthroughs. So, fight has engaged. You should have waited. Nah, man, this guy's going down so quickly. So heckin' We got a full combo on him. As soon as I've done it again. As soon as Siegward comes down, he can tank for you, and you can just unload on this creature's backside. And he goes down very quickly if you are aggressive, and also Siegward doesn't even have to do anything. He just has to stand there. It's great. We do want him to survive, though, so the key here is being really aggressive. We don't want him to die and to miss out on his quest line, so do let him tank. Don't take forever about it, though. So he'll give you a Siegbräu to make a toast. Prost! You can save this and drink it. It's a heal. Or you can, for the role play, I guess you can drink it now with him, toast with him. And you get a little emote here, the toast emote as well. I'm going to have myself a little then he's going to, in true Katarina fashion, we've just had a battle, now he's going to have a sleep. And that is his quest progressed. So that's all you have to do here. Now we do have the rest of this area to explore, and it does get a little tricky here, so we're going to take it nice and slow. Out here in the outside bit, there are no enemies to worry about. It was just the big fire demons, so don't worry about that. And if we go behind some buildings, there are a few things to pick up. So yeah, don't worry, no enemies outside. They're all inside this building at the back here. There's a couple bodies hanging up that have got shiny shinies on them. There's the large club. So if you were fancying the big bonk, knocking enemies to the ground, very slow attacks, we could probably hit that with our swords. But yeah, you know, you could definitely hit it with an arrow. Worth picking up this pale tongue. This is a covenant item for the fingers covenant. They are tied to invasions, but it's also going to allow you to respec your character and even change your character's physical appearance as well. This one in particular, very important. It's for a quest, so pick it up. Down here, you can just tell these guys are going to drop down on you, aren't they? No, maybe not. Huh. Guess we're safe. Guess they're all dead. Nothing's gonna drop down on us. Guess we're fine. Oh no, she spoiled the surprise. Yeah, so once you go a certain way into this like area here, these two will drop down, but the other ones downstairs don't. Debated. So we're cautiously taking out these guys one little hit at a time, backing off, one little hit. Dropping some fading souls, throwing some poo, alluring skulls, which can be really useful for taking out little doggies. You throw an alluring skull at a pack of dogs, they're all going to go for the skull and not for you. You can just take them out much easier. Oh god. Another cage that you can tell was noticeably brighter than its peers that don't come to life. These things are so annoying. They're actually so annoying. Oh man, I quite like this guy here, just like dying in his chair looking out. Just think that's nice, isn't it? Oh, speaking of dogs, we do have more dogs. That was masterfully done. That was charitably done, dear friend. More doggos. Very good. Like, he didn't even notice us. These are not going to come to life. You're fine. However, there are two evangelists up here. Now, fighting two of these at once is tricky, and you can tell from my masterful editing. Sorry, you can't tell because of my masterful editing, but you can because of that bloodstain. We did die here. Because, you know, aggression is key when fighting these guys, but when you're fighting them two at a time, aggression is not all that is required of you here. So we want to be a little bit more cautious with our hits. We have managed to cause one of them to drop down, which is fantastic, but we do want to prioritize getting full health again before going back in. So yeah, separating them is key. Killing them before they can kill you. You know, reduce the enemy's health to 0 before he reduces your health to 0. You know, the standard stuff. But yeah, if you can use this drop here to split them up, that's amazing. These flies, these blood flies, they do inflict more than half of a bar of bleeding status buildup. So if that fills, like if you get hit twice, it'll cause a big like blood loss, which is a massive like chunk of your health comes off. This chest is fine. As you can see, the chain is a nice cuddle. It's not breathing. How the frick did that give me a fright? I knew it was coming. It still gave me a fright. So although the chest was fine, it was booby-trapped by other means. Luckily, we have some fire bombs here, which are great for taking out these guys. It would have been nice if they were more clustered together, but they are super weak to fire. Much faster to take them out with fire bombs than with our swords. But the last one, obviously, we may as well save our fire bombs now. Just take it out normally. Right, well done. If you do end up dying, that's a bit of an annoying run back, but it's definitely worth coming up here, so stick with it. There's a ring that we're going to pick up shortly. It's very good. Flynn's Ring. So this is very good for our current build because we have a very low equipment load build. This does cap a certain amount, but basically the less that you are weighting, the less that you're holding, the lighter you are to a certain point. It gives you a massive, like, it's something mental, like 20% more damage. Simply for not weighting heavy armor, which is really cool. It's sort of like a glass cannon kind of build. We're going to roll down here. So that is like, that's something that you can't really fix with skill, unfortunately. It literally, it's almost like you sort of bounce off the side of the wall. You can play this game a million times, Exhibit A, and still fall to stuff like that. So yeah, don't worry, it's fine. I'm just showing you quickly I mentioned that the run back was a bit brutal. So I'm just showing you quickly how you would do that. So we can get back here. We've acquired a nice hat. Got a nice evangelist hat on. Keep the sun out of our eyes. More dogs. Handle it. Run past these guys here, back on the roof. And across here. So if you did just want Flynn's Ring and you didn't want to fight everything, you absolutely can run past everything. Here we go. So from here, don't throw a firebomb. You sort of want to roll. You want to roll. Anyway, somehow we did not die. But you want to roll, like, not right at the edge. Because it can cause you to sort of, like, bounce off the wall. So however you manage to get down here, hopefully you manage to get down here and pick up the Chloranthy ring. Because that is the second ring that we were really looking to pick up from this area. This will increase your stamina recovery speed. So when the bar is empty, the bar will fill up again. It's something like 10% faster. Now that might not seem like a lot, but that is the difference between sometimes being able to roll and not being able to roll on time. So it's a must for any melee build, really. Chloranthy ring. Use a homeward bone or trek back to the bonfire to head back to the Firelink shrine. We've got a tidy amount of souls here, 13,000 souls. So we're going to try and get the key now. So we've got a couple souls here that we can sell. Soul of a nameless soldier. So we're just doing a bit of maths. We want to get up to 20k, basically. So maths. Either pop some souls or grind some mobs in the Undead Settlement. And we're buying the tower key. So 20,000 souls for the tower key. That was a huge investment this early in the game, but I promise you it's worth it. If you don't manage to get the 20k, don't worry. Obviously, I'll show you what's there and you can make your own decision. But it's worth just getting out of the way. We're at a good level, character-wise, weapon-wise, you know. We've actually got enough here for another level. Oh, no, we don't. Oh, we're just under. We're just under, but that's okay. A good rule of thumb is to double check if you press start and go to your character page, like the stats page, you can check how many souls it'll cost to level you up. It's a good idea to do that before you start popping souls, because now we're like, oh, I hope we don't lose these. Right, we're gonna head back to the dilapidated bridge. It is time to go for the boss. That is the Undead Settlement complete. We already unlocked the bonfire, past the doggy, the Erythiel doggy, that dropped us the straight sword, you know, the one down at the bottom that we opened the doors to. That is the way to progress. So that gets us to the next area. But we haven't done the boss of this area. I, much like Charlie, like to leave this boss until last. You actually don't need to do it at all. It's a completely optional boss. But it's a gimmick boss, and you know, we all love a gimmick boss. It's actually at the very back left of the room, and it's that big heckin' tree. The tree is covered with white sort of pustules that you can attack and pop. So we're gonna go pop his pimples. The biggest pimples are in the testicle region. So we're just gonna go and tickle those. When they pop, the boss automatically, I guess in a second after it's done trying to hit us, will start butt dropping the ground, as you can see here. And this will break the floor and we'll head down to phase 2. Phase 2 is much harder than phase 1 because we're now dealing with a poppy pimple pustule hand coming out from the testicle region, which has a grab attack and it's just awful. So a good tip could be to pop some of the sort of lesser pimples that you're able to get to before you go for the testicles. But the only thing is, while you're up there in phase 1 at the top, before the floor breaks, you do have lots of ads constantly coming for you. So that does make it harder too. It's personal preference whether you think being down here without ads, but you've got the hand to deal with, or being up there with the ads and no hand. It's, like I said, it's personal preference. The charcoal pine resin is a must. I am sorry I didn't mention it sooner, but we popped that just before going up to him in phase 1 to get that massive burst of damage in the beginning. That was a very, very, very fast Curse-Rotted Greatwood fight. This fight can go on for so heckin' long, depending on the weapons that you have and your luck with managing to hit the little pustules, because they're in quite hard to hit areas. The pustules are the only way you can deal damage to this boss. You can't just hit it wherever you like. So if you don't have the right weapon, it can be quite difficult, quite annoying. But like I said, up to you if you want to prolong phase 1 upstairs. And then when you're ready to go for phase 2, like when you've run out of little pustules to hit, go for the testicles and then head down to phase 2. And then there will always be testicles there to hit. I think this is the most I've ever said the word testicles on a YouTube video. So yeah, I see both sides. I see both. As long as you've got enough charcoal pine resin, charcoal pine bundles, we got them. The handmaiden, shrine handmaiden sells them. Then this boss is cake. That was another boss down. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for the next part of the walkthrough, and I'll see you in that one.